அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். இன்றைய வகுப்பில் நம்ம இந்த அமிலங்கள் காரங்கள் இவர்களை பற்றி நம்ம பார்ப்போம். ஆசிட்ஸ் அண்ட் பேசஸ். முதல்ல ஆதி காலத்தில் ஒரு அமிலம் என்றால் என்ன, புளிப்பு சுவையுடையதெல்லாம் அமிலம் அப்படின்னு சொன்னாங்க. அதுக்கப்புறம் காரங்கள் பொழுது ஒரு வழவழான்னு இருக்கின்ற சேர்மங்களை கசப்புத்தன்மை உள்ளதை காரம் அப்படின்னு சொன்னாங்க. இது ஒரு அறிவியல் பூர்வமான வரையறை கிடையாது. ஆகையினால ஒரு அறிவியல் பூர்வமாக அமிலங்களையும் காரங்களையும் வரையறுக்க வேண்டும் என்பதற்காக முதலிலே அர்ஹீனியஸ் என்பவர் அமிலக்கார கொள்கையை அர்ஹீனியஸ் தியரி என்று கூறுகின்றார். அர்ஹீனியஸ் அமிலக்கார கொள்கை. இவருடைய கொள்கைப்படி ஒரு அமிலம் என்பது நீர்க்கரைசலில் H+ அயனியை தரவல்லது அமிலம் என்று வரையறுக்கப்படுகிறது. Acid is a substance which can release H+ ion in aqueous media. For example, hydrochloric acid is an acid. This on dissolution in water gives dissociate to give H+ and OH minus. This H+ and Cl. Since it releases H+ in aqueous media, it is an acid. In the similar manner, a base is a substance which could release hydroxide ion in aqueous media. For example, sodium hydroxide, when dissolved in water, dissociate to produce hydroxide ion. So this is how Arrhenius defined acid and bases. And of course, this has its own limitation, because there are plenty of acids which do not contain H, and it cannot release the H+ ion in aqueous media, and also there are so many bases which do not contain hydroxide ion, but they behave as a basis. And the second major limitation of this theory is we cannot explain whether a substance is an acid or a base without dissolving in water, without having water. Only in the presence of water we could explain whether the substance is an acid or a base. So that we need another theory, and that theory is what is called Lowry-Bronsted theory or Bronsted-Lowry theory. Lowry-Bronsted theory. And according to this theory, an acid is a substance which could donate a proton. Proton donor is an acid. Proton donor is an acid. And just opposite to that, proton acceptor, proton donor and proton acceptor is a base. Is a base. அமிலங்கள் என்பது புரோட்டானை வழங்குபவை, காரங்கள் என்பது புரோட்டானை ஏற்றுக்கொள்பவை. ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள், HCl donates a proton to water. So here, since it donates a proton, it is an acid. Since the proton is accepted by this water behaves as a base. And of course, after donating a proton, HCl becomes Cl minus. Therefore, HCl is the acid and the Cl minus is the conjugate base. And H2O is a base, and after accepting a proton, it becomes H3O+, and now this is a conjugate acid. Usually, if the acid is strong, its conjugate base would be weaker. If the original acid is weaker, its conjugate base would be the stronger one. In the similar manner, if the base is a strong base, its conjugate acid would be weaker. If the base is a weaker base, its conjugate acid would be strong. In similar manner, we can write other examples like H2SO4, H2O, and after it donates a proton, it becomes HSO4 minus, and it is an acid because it donates a proton. It is a base, H2O is a base because it accepts a proton, and of course HSO4 minus is the conjugate base of H2SO4, and H2O becomes H3O plus. So this is the base and this is the conjugate acid. And here one thing we have to note that H2O can act both as an acid as well as base depending upon the situation. For example, when H2O is treated with HCl, it becomes H3O plus Cl minus. Here it is an acid and this acts as a base. And when the same water is treated with ammonia, and of course now it is a base and this is an acid. So here as water can act as both as an acid as well as base. So this type of substances are called amphoteric. And of course this theory has its own limitations, and the major limitation is there are plenty of acids which cannot have proton at all. For example, this theory could not explain the reaction between CaO and CO2. And of course, as this is actually a base and this is actually an acid, and acid as per the Lowry-Bronsted definition, CO2 should donate a proton because it is an acid, but it doesn't contain any H and so it cannot donate a proton. And CaO cannot accept a proton because there is no proton, and so this theory could not explain the reactions between the CaO and the CO2, MgO and CO2, etc. So there is a need for another theory, and that is what is called Lewis theory. Time என்னாச்சு எவ்வளோ நேரம் வந்தது வீடியோ